I have a dirty little secret. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that I'm a British citizen, but did you know that I am in fact also an American citizen? It wasn't always a dirty secret to me. Years ago, it used to be something that I would flash around in primary school in the playground, and it would be so cool. Oh wow, Jess can live in the place that hamburgers and Hollywood comes from, you know? But 8 years of the Bush administration just put paid to that one. And now when I tell people that I'm an American citizen, I say it very quietly and with a look of general apology. So anyway, yeah, the reason I bring it up is because today I'm planning to go out and live in America in January for 9 months. So I need a social security number. So I had to go to the American Embassy in central London today. And I spent £8 getting there, which is about $11.50 to get there, $11.50 that I don't have, only to discover that the people who invented the internet are unable to put on their fucking website that it's an American public holiday today, and of course they're closed. And this was going to be a video about hating the American Embassy because I've been there before to renew my passport, and the place freaks me the fuck out, man. It's off of one of the busiest shopping streets in London, and it's surrounded by guards with automatic assault rifles. And guns give me a cold shiver down the back of my spine. I don't like them. And this place is fucking pig ugly as well. It's right in the middle of a really historic part of London with some really beautiful buildings. And the Americans decided to come along and make something that looks like some horrific 60s experiment gone wrong. I've got a whole shitload of things going around my mind that I thought I would dump. You are now my recycle bin, YouTube. Iranian hunger strikers were camped outside of the American Embassy, and it was just such a sad sight. So horrific to see the pictures and the posters that they had outside of this American Embassy, and it was just so in front of the glory of this hideous, imposing American Embassy building surrounded by, you know, soldiers with guns, to see these poor, bedraggled, starving people trying to, you know, with their last, you know, the last thing they have to give, with the health of their bodies, trying to get some kind of recognition for the oppression of the Iranian people under Ahmadinejad. It was just awful, and it's been a bit of a fucking day for it. And the contrast of the luxury and the self-consciousness of the location and the people walking around it, and the fine dress, and the people paying out £6 for a sandwich from ridiculously branded sandwich shops, and then these people starving outside of the American Embassy just fucked me up, man. And I went down into the underground to get back, which is the subway for the American viewers, and it's just getting worse and worse. I mean, just constant indoctrination everywhere you go. There was a time when they just had kind of these peeling posters on the walls advertising things, and now they have, when you're on the escalators, they have these moving, every next step is a new moving image, flashing these kind of adverts at you. And when you get down onto the underground and you're looking across the platform, you know, to where your train's going to show up, they have these full-size cinema screens of adverts. And I always try to avoid any kind of advertising whatsoever. I don't watch TV, and I try to keep my head down when I'm walking around, trying not to allow these kind of images to infiltrate my mind, because they affect the way that I see myself and other people, and they highlight to me the disparity of my life, that I don't have £8 to get to the American Embassy to find out it's closed, let alone money to spend on this holiday or these cleaning products that I must want because I'm a woman. Anyway, yeah, I try to keep my eyes down, but these moving images, these massive screens of moving images, they're just so hard for the human mind to avoid. You know, I consciously try not to look at them, and the colours and the lights flashing in the corner of my eyes mean that I'm looking at the tracks, my eyes are slipping back to these adverts, and I find myself watching them again. I just think, you know, at what point do we recognise the indoctrination and ask to be freed mentally? At what point do we stand up and say, Actually, thanks but no thanks, keep your capitalist bullshit to yourself, because I want to be able to formulate ideologies and principles in my mind when I'm standing and thinking, and not fucking be distracted by these fucking images. And then, as though to highlight the point, I got on the tube, and they hand out these free papers, and I picked one of them up. It's the Metro in London, and the Metro is not known to be a massively intellectual newspaper. It's just a kind of snippety newspaper designed to be read between 3 stops on the Underground. And it's got this little snippet article. "We're so poor at judging wealth" is the title. "Rich people believe they are poorer than they actually are, while the poorest workers do not realise how badly off they are, a new study shows. Those on more than 35,000 a year made the biggest errors in judging where they came on Britain's earnings scales," the TUC found. "People on less than £10,000 per year thought they were 13% higher up the scale than they were." The quote from Brendan Barber, the TUC leader, is, "Everyone seems to think they live in Middle Britain." And I just think, I rue the fact that the Metro doesn't bother to look into why that might be, and I might completely pull something out of my arse here, but I might assert that when we're constantly living under this type of advertising, it's affecting our images of ourselves. I personally, I look at the adverts and then I look at the people around me and I see poverty and oppression. But it's infiltrating our consciousness to the point where you could be living on £10,000 per year and still think that you're, like everyone else. Or you could be living on £35,000 per year and still think that you're fucking poor. I don't know, it's a fucked up world that we're living in, people. And as if to illustrate the point, when I get off the tube, I walk past this cafe with seating out on the pavement, and there's this old guy who's obviously homeless that asks me if I have £1. And I looked closely at him and I recognised him from my days working in the pub not far from there. 5 years ago he was asking me for £1, and there he is now, and he's in his 60s at least. And I just think it's fucking sad that in the Western world old people are left to rot in poverty, and many people that were once affluent people that get fucked by pension schemes in one way or another end up, after 45 years of loyal service to their country's capitalist goals, end up living in poorly heated accommodation with no respect from anyone at all, and with their views being seen as likely to be coloured by senility. And I, it's not like that all over the world. India, I know, particularly have a respect for their older people, and older people have some kind of sway over the younger people, and that's how it should be. And we have such an idea of progress, and of course, I want to bring about progress. I want to bring about changes. I don't want this world to be the way it is, but I recognise that we need to learn the lessons of the past, and we can't just sweep history under the carpet and think that we know best. And we should be listening to the older people in our societies. As I said, hodgepodge of ideas. BNP article. The British National Party leader Nick Griffin might be invited to appear on Question Time, the BBC confirmed today. Yeah, that's great, that's all we need. Let's give the British National Party a voice on mainstream television, shall we? And then at the end, the Labour Party has always refused to share a platform, quite rightly, with the British National Party, but is now thought to be reviewing the policy. The Conservatives and Liberal Democrats believe the party should be faced down in open debate. Damn fucking right the party should be faced down. No, we don't share a platform with racist fucks. Oh my god. And it's an issue which is quite fresh in my mind at the moment, because I'm learning at the moment about American civil rights, particularly the issues of black rights in the last 200 years in America, because that's my exam on Wednesday. And I'd like to give a shout out, as it were, to Ida B. Wells, who in the 1890s, when black people were getting lynched in the South, she was very outspoken on the issue of lynching. She formed many socialist groups, women's groups. She toured America, and when American press refused to recognise her being the black person that she is, and therefore being unable to hold intellectual viewpoints, she toured Britain, gave over 100 lectures in 1890s in Britain, and managed to get such force of support from the British press behind her that they shamed the American South and shamed the Northern American newspapers for allowing such atrocities to happen with such little coverage and such jokey coverage, well, isn't it funny black people get lynched? And it caused a complete ideological shift and deeply embarrassed the Americans, who then started to give more support to anti-lynching campaigns. So shout out to Ida B. Wells, not only a black person in America, not only a woman in America, but a poor black person in America, giving it for the people. Respect, YouTube, hope you're well.